Change can be stressful, but it also brings with it its own distinctive challenges. And with change an almost constant part of most modern workplaces, the ability to help and support your team through change is fast becoming a core skill for any manager and team leader. In this video, I want to look at what you can do to support your team through change. Of course, one of the most useful things you can do if you're going to support your team through change is to understand how change works. But that is, I'm afraid, outside of the scope of this video, so I will put some links below in the description about how change works, and that will put into context the simple guidance I'm going to give you in this video, because it's drawn from a deep understanding of how change works. And if you've seen any of my videos on that, then you'll recognize the steps, which I'll highlight as we go through. Step 1 starts with the recognition that when change starts to happen, people don't often see the need for it. And therefore, to a certain extent, they deny it's even happening. So, of course, step 1 is about helping people to see the need for change. The reality is that most people aren't aware of the drivers for the changes that are going to happen in their organisation. They haven't seen the warning signs that senior management have seen. They're not aware of changes in legislation or changes in technology that are going to affect their work. And therefore, when the organisation starts to impose changes, their first response is, why? I don't see why we need to change. Therefore, you need to help them to see what those drivers are. Otherwise, they will simply resist the change by refusing to engage with it. Make it clear to people what's causing the change and why it's a totally responsible thing for the organisation to do, to create these changes to respond to those external drivers. Now, once people recognise that change is necessary and it is going to happen, their responses tend to be emotional. They tend to get angry or upset or frustrated or bitter or simply scared. So step 2, of course, is to help people to deal with their emotional responses to change. And the worst thing you can do is to say, look, there's no point in getting angry. Don't get upset. It's not my fault. It's going to happen anyway. Because as soon as you tell someone not to get upset, not to get angry, not to be frustrated, not to be scared, it just amplifies their response. That is the wrong approach. The right approach, of course, is to give people the time to be angry, to be upset, to be scared, to be frustrated. So make time to listen to them. Let them express their anger. Let them express their upset, their frustration, and their fears. The more they talk through what's going on in their mind and in their emotions, the more they'll be able to process it and move out of the emotional stage into a more resilient, more rational stage when they can engage properly with the changes that are actually happening. Now people are rational, the third step is to help people to understand exactly what changes are going to happen and the reasons why they aren't appropriate. This is about finding all of your skills in explaining things and listening to people as they express the bits they don't understand and respond patiently to help them to understand fully. Once they start to understand the changes, their next concern will be, what about me? So step 4 is to help them to explore the implications of the changes for them. How will the changes affect their particular situation? And what are the options that they have going forward? Explain to them the benefits for them. Explain to them the things that won't change or won't change very much, and be absolutely scrupulously honest about any disadvantages that the changes will create for them. Some people will come to embrace the changes. They will see that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, or they will see that it doesn't make a great deal of difference to them, and they will be fine with it. They will explore what it really means to them, and then they will come to accept the changes. Others, however, will recognise that the changes overall will disadvantage them. Now they have a difficult decision to make. And your role at step 5 is to help them to make that decision by giving them whatever guidance, support that the organization offers to help them to make that choice and to help them to thrive beyond the changes. And that choice may be a very difficult one. It may be to step away, to disengage with the organization. The worst thing that can happen, of course, is that you end up with people staying in the organization but feeling bitter and frustrated by the changes that have happened and resentful of the people who made them happen. So we can think about step 5 as being supporting the people who want to stay with training, support, guidance, coaching and mentoring, and step 6 as providing the support for the people who decide that the changes are not right for them and they need to make a bigger, more challenging decision. If the changes really aren't right for them, you need to help them to see that and explore what their alternatives really are. And often when organisations do make substantial changes, they do make allowance for this and recognise that they will have to help people through those changes. Change can be a hugely stressful time for everyone, and don't underestimate the impact it will have on you, not just on your need to support other people and the effects that will have on you, but on the fact that you yourself are going to be going through the same changes as your team will be going through. The only advantage you may have is that you might find out about it just a little bit earlier. But you will be working through the same emotional responses and thought processes as they are. With change as common as it is, you need to understand this stuff and you need to be prepared to support your team. And these 6 simple stages will help you do that. Please do give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. There's loads more great management courses content to come, so please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of them. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.